Okay, I'm going to take you through how to create this block for our common assessment. To start off, you need to notice that it is 56 wide here and 64 there. Okay, so if we add that together, that's 120. So the overall size, I'm going to start with the base. The overall size of this is 120 by 76. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to create a rectangle starting here, and I'm going to go 120, comma. Let me make sure. So the shorter side is that way. 120, so 76, comma, 120. Enter. There is my base. Then I'm going to, if you notice, this edge is 56 back from the front. So I'm going to take my measurement tool and I'm going to measure back 56. So I'll type in 56, enter. Gives me a measurement tool there. And the center of this arc is actually 18 out from this back part. Why? Well, if I look at the radius of this arc, the radius of this arc is half of 76. Okay, so half of 76 is 38. If I take 38 from 56, then I get 18. So the distance there is 18. So what you can do is I can take another line here. Take this line, I'm going to move 18 in that direction. Okay. Now I'll use my arc tool. And if I got this line here, I have 2 points. So I am going to use the 2-point arc. Go to this intersection, over to this intersection, and then out to the end here. Notice it says half circle. There is my arc. Now what I will do is I'm going to trim off the edges that I don't need. Trim there, and trim there. Okay, I now have my base. I am going to push-pull the base up, the thickness. If you notice the thickness right here is 18. Okay. Try to give you a better tool over here to see. Yeah, that's fine. We'll push-pull this up, the distance there, which is 18. I'll click, pull that up, 18, enter. Now what I'm going to do is, you can see I'm going to put in this line here and raise it up to the top here. So going from the back to the front, it's 64. So again, I'm going to use my tape. I'm going to come that way on the green axis. I'm going to go 64. Press enter. Now I'm going to draw a line from that point over to that point. And now I'm going to push-pull this the rest of the way up. What is the rest of the distance? Well, I want to push-pull it this distance. If this is 18 and the total height is 72, okay, I take 72 minus 18, which would be 72, 62 minus 8 from there is going to be 54. Okay, so that distance is 54. So I am now going to push-pull this up 54. Okay, now I have a nice little tool that I do to put in the rectangle, the square here. You notice this is offset in 13. So it's 13 here, 13 there. We have a tool here called offset. I can select the offset tool. I select the surface that I want. I go in. Notice I go out, but I want to go in, the direction in, and I'm going to type in 13 as it indicates on the drawing. Now I have that. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is push-pull that down to the bottom. So push-pull it down to the bottom. While I'm doing this, I'm holding down the little wheel so I get my orbit tool. I unclick my wheel and then I'm going to put it down here and I'm going to say on face and it'll make it go through. Okay. Now I'm going to put these circles in the side here. the circle says that it is 36 up from the bottom and 32 in from the back edge. So I'll grab my tape, I'll make some lines, go from the bottom. We said it was up 36 and in 32. Now this indicates that the circle has a diameter of 25. So if I put a circle in here, you'll have to notice that the circle goes off of radius. So if I click on this intersection and I go out, down here you notice it says radius. Radius is half of the diameter. So if the diameter is 25, then the radius needs to be 12.5. I put that in. Okay. Now all I have to do is push pull that. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to push pull that. I can either push pull it back the thickness that we said it was, 13, and that will go through. Okay. Now I need to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to go up 36, over 32, circle, intersection, radius 12.5, typing that in. You notice it's, press enter, got 12.5 right there in the radius. Now I'm going to push pull that back, 13, and it's through. Okay, so I have my entire part there except for the little triangle piece on the front. Okay, right here, the triangle piece on the front. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create that triangle piece, but I'm going to actually do it off to the side. Okay, so this triangle piece, the thing about it is I said this was 54 earlier, and this then is 54 as well to here. So what we can do is let's just create, I'm going to create a rectangle, and I'm going to drag it out, and I'm going to say it's 54 comma 54, 54 comma 54. That's going to give me a 54 by 54 square. Well, if you know, a triangle then goes from the corner. So all I have to do is draw a line from corner to corner, and now I have my triangle. Okay, I'm going to erase off the lines that I don't need, and then I'm going to push pull this up the width that I need. If I look at the drawing over there, it says right here 22, so I need to push pull it up 22, enter. And then here's a critical part. Make sure that I come over and I go to select, and I select this all together. So I drug from the bottom right to the top left, and I put it inside the window. Don't let other things get in there, or it will select that as well. Okay, I just want to try to get your view to where you're just going to get that. I select that, I right click on the mouse, and I say make group. What that does is it makes it one part. So now I can move it. So now I'm going to go to my move tool, and with this move tool you'll see that I have these little red plus looking signs. I can grab those and rotate things. So technically I do have to rotate that, and I'm going to rotate it up here. So I'm going to rotate it up 90 degrees there. Now I need to move it over to here. What I do need to have is an anchor point over here of where to move that to. And what I can do is, it is halfway across here. So what I can do is I can grab it right here at the midpoint at the top. So I select midpoint and I grab it, then I can move it, and what I'm going to do is put it on the midpoint of the block there. Boom. And now I have that in place. And we have a completed block. From there you should be able to finish it out. Feel free to go through and delete these lines here until you got everything cleaned up. And there you go.